Welcome. This is Sandy Hood speaking, and we're looking at the risk and uncertainty area of the P1 syllabus. Now, I recently looked at student results for their P1 exams, and this was the area where people had the most difficulty. So hopefully this is going to be a helpful video, just assisting people in order to try and pass the questions on the exam which relate to risk and uncertainty. In the operational case study, the examiner has given us a useful quote, and I've got it on this screen at the moment. It helps to distinguish uncertainty from risk, not in day-to-day language where we tend to use them interchangeably, but certainly as far as accountancy exams are concerned. So if the task gives payoff tables without probabilities, this is decision making under uncertainty. We are looking for maxi-max, maxi-min, mini-max regret. These are measures of risk and attitude towards risk as far as uncertainty is concerned. I know it's a rather unfortunate use of the word risk in that particular context, but that's the general approach. When we are using risk, then the task will give us probabilities, expected values, standard deviations, and coefficients of variation. And this is where risk attitudes can be considered. So let's move on, and we'll start by looking at a question. We've got a manager deciding which one of three products to launch, product G, product H, or product J. We've got some net cash flows from the products, and these will vary according to the market conditions that arise as set out below. So starting off from an aspect of uncertainty, we can either have poor market conditions, average market conditions, or good market conditions. And under those three different types of market, we're then able to move along and identify our three measures that we use within our assessment of uncertainty. So under maxi-min, we're looking for the best worst outcome. Here, the worst outcome for product G is 168. That's if we have poor market conditions. The worst for product H and the worst for product J are both also in the poor market conditions. When we compare all three, the best worst outcome, the maxi-min decision, would be to launch product H because it has the highest value under its worst outcome. Maxi-max is the best outcome. We go through the three again and again. It all comes from the same column if the market conditions are good, and in this case product J gives us the best outcome, so we would be launching product J. Then we come to mini-max regret. And this sounds like a little bit of a mouthful, but hopefully it makes sense. This is the outcome where you have the least regret for not choosing a better one. I know, I've put 2 exclamation marks there. Let's look at this. Here we've got the 3 different products, and I've added our regrets. So if we look at product G under poor conditions, we would be generating net cash flows of 168. That would be 22 lower than product H. In other words, if we'd chosen to do product G, we would regret not having done product H because we are generating $22,000 less than we would have done had we made the other decision. Another one. Let's have a look at product H as far as good conditions are concerned. If the conditions are good, then product H would generate net cash flow of 530,000. That is 25,000 lower than the best, which is product J. So they would regret deciding on product H, and the value of that regret is $25,000. So we've got to look for the minimum of the maximum regret. So if we go along, the maximum regret we would have with product G is 44,000, with product H 50,000, and with product J 10,000. So it's product J that has the lowest maximum regret, and using this decision we would launch product J. Now we move on to risk. If a task gives probabilities, if we've got expected values, sometimes we've also got standard deviations and coefficients of variation. These are measures that we could attribute to risk decision making. So in here I've got probabilities and expected values. There is a probability of poor market conditions of 0.4, of average market conditions of 0.5, and of good market conditions of 0.1. And that gives us expected values. In other words, we can work out an expected value for each product based on those three different probabilities. So in the case of product G, 0.4 times 168 plus 0.5 times 320 plus 0.1 times 511 would give us an expected value of 278.3. We are given those so we can identify that the product which has the highest expected value is product J, and in this case the risk neutral recommendation would be to launch product J. But questions can also ask us about perfect information, and so we would then have to compare what our decision would be if we know the expected market condition rather than we are trying to estimate what it is. So here, in the knowledge of whether it's poor, average or good, we could then choose the best product. If it's poor conditions, the best product would be product H. If it's average conditions, the best product would be product J. And if it's good conditions, the best product would be product J as well. We can now combine those with their respective probabilities, and that gives us 76, 165 and 55.5, which we add together, and that gives us a new expected value. We've got an expected value now of 296.5 based on the best products for the various market conditions. Our previous best, when we didn't have that information, was product J, which had the highest expected value of 292.5. So we can compare the two, without perfect information, with perfect information, and the difference is $4,000. And that's what we've been asked for, because the question says give your answer to the nearest whole dollars. Oh, yes, this is the kind of question that can sometimes be a little bit of a so-and-so. All the information was given to us in thousands of dollars, but the answer has to be given to the nearest whole dollar. So we would write $4,000 in the box. This has come from question 14 on the Management Accounting tutorial within the Pearson Vue website. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that this is helpful and will support you in your attempts to pass the CIMA P1 exam. Thank you very much for watching. If you want more details on me, then look on Facebook, Accountancy Tutor, or email me sandy@sandyhood.com. All the very, very best.